What's up, everybody? John's Daily Hustle here. So I'm going to talk to you guys today about my first job, and it was an absolute nightmare. So it was just a leaf cleanup job. I wasn't even hauling them away. All I was doing was just mulching them with my Troy build here, the 33-inch walk behind. So that's all it was, just a mulch job. So how could it have been a nightmare? It should have been an easy job, right? Well, it should have, but the customer failed to tell me that there was landscape rocks as well as a fireplace in the front yard. Let me show you some pictures of what the yard looked like when I got there. As you can see, you can't even tell where the fireplace or the front garden is in either one of these pictures. The backyard wasn't too bad. You can see the leaves up closer by the house, and that was pretty much it for that, but it did take a while. So that front yard, it hasn't been cleaned, raked up, anything for over a year. That house was on the market to be sold for years, and the owner who was selling it never did anything to it. What she failed to tell me, like I said, was not only was there a fire pit, which had rocks all around it, which I'll show you pictures of. There was also a light pole with landscape rocks around it. And I want to say that, there was a garden in the front yard with landscape rocks around it. Well, the customer didn't tell me about it, so I ended up finding them. And Ben, you better believe I found them with that walk behind. So what I had to do was tilt the walk behind up and run the leaves over and back up and go over it a couple times because, I mean, they were up to my knees. Let me demonstrate in case you can't picture what I did. So I had to pick it up just like this, run the leaves over, and go over it slowly. Because it's so underpowered, I kept having to raise it just like this and go over it down and then go over it again and go over it just like that. And so sure, if I had better equipment, a stronger mower, maybe sharper blades, I would have been able to not have to do that, and I'd have got the job done so much faster. But I still would have ran into the problem. The problem of finding those landscape rocks. So you can imagine those blades spinning at whatever RPMs they spin at. You can imagine what that would happen. The blades hit the rocks, it makes a loud noise. It destroyed the blades, absolutely destroyed it. Which brings me to the next problem that I learned after this job. The blades on this bad boy here are pretty hard to find, and they're very expensive. There's two blades, and these blades, the only place I was able to find them, they were like $48 a piece. That is insane for what this mower is. The reason why is because they are keyed. I don't know if it's keyed, but there's a little... Keyed might not be the right way to call it. They're slotted just to where the bolt goes in, and it's a very special slot. I could probably go to somebody who, fabricates for a living and probably get just any blade cut down to that size and make it work, which might be what I have to do in the future. But for the time being, as you guys know, I was doing this all with no overhead, as little as possible, and I didn't quite have any cash built up. So this job was done. It was a friend of mine, kind of, sorta. Not really a friend, whatever I just said there, sorta. It was kind of a friend of mine, more of an acquaintance, we'll call her. So she actually works at a gas station that I used to stop at, well, right now I still stop at just about every day getting a Monster Energy drink to drink. So, naturally every day you see her every morning, you kind of get to know her, and then that's how this whole thing got brought up, that, hey, I'm getting ready to start my lawn care company. And she goes, hey, we just moved in, we need a leaf cleanup, can you come do it? So I gave her a super good rate. I mean, it was dirt cheap. There's a reason why leaf cleanups are expensive. They're expensive because there's a lot of variables that go into it. Just like what I found out, you never know what's underneath the leaves. Yes, I walked the yard, like some of you guys may be thinking, oh, you should have walked the yard. I did walk the yard, but apparently I didn't walk in the right spots. But again, there's all kinds of variables. You never know what's underneath all of those leaves. When they're knee high, you have no idea what could be under there. Plus, it's not just about what's underneath the leaves. There could be, it's a lot of extra wear and tear on the mowers doing leaf cleanups because, you're just mulching it up. You may have to go over it more than once like I did. As well as you're going to spend more fuel and everything else just trying to mulch the leaves up. And that's a lot more wear and tear on you. You may have to rake leaves off, which I sure did, because at this point I didn't have a leaf blower yet for this job. This was literally my first job. I just picked up the mower, put it in the bed of my truck, and went. So I definitely learned the hard way that leaf cleanups are not cheap, and it was a nightmare to begin with. But anyways, it was a great learning experience because now I won't do cheap leaf cleanups anymore, that's for sure. Even for a friend or acquaintance, I don't think so. They're going to be paying for it now. But what I also didn't account for is that's extra wear and tear that's happening on the mower, including the belts. So I'll get to that in the next video. You guys will hear about my first breakdown, which happened that same day. So just to kind of give you an idea, while I was doing this leaf cleanup, the neighbor walked over and was watching me. And I seen him walk up and I seen him watching me because I hate it when people watch me while I work. Anyways, after he got done watching me, he walked over to me. I turned the mower off and he goes, "Hey, you do pretty good work. You know, I've been watching you. It looks like you do a good job. Can you come give me a quote?" So anyways, I'll get to that in the next video. Because there's a story behind that, plus we get something free out of it. That's in a whole nother video. So anyways, I just wanted to tell you guys and talk to you guys about the nightmare of a first job that I had. But all in all, it wasn't bad. It was just a learning curve, even though it was bad. It was just a learning curve for me to do. Definitely don't do cheap work. Not cheap work, but definitely don't sell yourself short. And think of all these factors when you're doing leaf cleanups and other jobs that will happen. But like I said, it was for a friend or acquaintance, so I kind of gave her a good deal, and it was my first customer, which, fast forwarding 6 months after this, I'm still cutting her grass every week, so it worked out. So here in this picture, you can see where I'm just about done doing all the leaves. I'm going to go over it one more time, but that's how much is left. Really, that job should have had all those leaves hauled away, because all those extra leaves there is actually... Mulching leaves can be a good thing for your yard, but that many, it was actually bad. And let me tell you why. It's bad because all those extra mulch up leaves will actually choke any grass growth that's going to come in the future anyways. A little bit of mulch leaves is good. It creates nutrients, especially when it breaks down and gives, all the worms and stuff that come up out of the ground something to eat. But that many, it should have been hauled away. It's just a part of it. It was a learning experience for me. I didn't realize it was going to do that. The owner ended up not really caring. The customer, she didn't care what it looked like. She just wanted the leaves cleaned up to where her kids can go outside and play in the yard and know that there's not a snake or something out there hiding in the leaves. And plus, it was an HOA in her area. That was a violation, having leaves like that. Because her area, they actually do a pretty good job at keeping it pretty well maintained. So that's a long story summed up for you guys of how my first job went. It was the first leaf cleanup job. And like I said, I got my pickup truck 1 week before this. That same day, a week later, the same day I picked up my lawnmower. I literally left the store from the lawnmower down to the customer's house and did this job. And I didn't even have a leaf blower yet, so I just had a rake and this. And I ended up having to use my Craftsman push mower to help clean up, just do a little last cleanup job on it. Because this one, it overheated and it seemed like it was burning through gas a lot. But we'll get to that here in a few videos. So anyways, be sure to subscribe to where you won't catch the next video. You guys are going to hear about I got something free. It's pretty cool. And the next job, I had my first breakdown already on job number 2 on the first day in business. So subscribe or you won't miss that video. And as always, thanks for watching.